It's a Monday here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Chase Sr. Thank you so much for making today's show a part of your day, and I hope all of you out there had a phenomenal weekend. Coming up here on the show, the news across the NFL today after Nick Chubb yesterday signed with the Houston Texans is this: Jaire Alexander released by the Green Bay Packers. So, should Howie Roseman and the Eagles pounce and sign the former All-Pro in NFL free agency? Before we talk about that, because I certainly have a lot of thoughts, analysis, and opinions, I want to say thank you to all of the real ones. Throughout the weekend, I was in a wedding, so we didn't do as much content as we normally do. Appreciate the understanding. We did pick up 157 new subscribers. In the process, we surpassed 121,000 subs right here on the show. Our goal in the month of June is to beat that May number of 1,132 new subscribers picked up. Let's do that. Let's make the bosses happy. Let's continue to join the movement and hit that sub button right now for the best Eagles coverage right here on YouTube. So, Jaire Alexander this morning released by the Green Bay Packers. And his name has been circulating in trade rumors over the last several months. The Packers tried to trade him around the NFL draft. No teams bit the bait, and there were no takers there. And so, after the Packers tried to trade him, they tried to renegotiate a new contract and restructure his deal. Alexander wasn't willing to take that. They have ended up letting him go. He's going to test the free agency market, and he will continue his NFL career elsewhere. And Alexander's put together a really impressive NFL career up to this point. Played his college ball at Louisville. He was a 2018 first-round pick by Green Bay. They do a great job of drafting and developing talent. Oftentimes, Green Bay as an organization, they don't spend a lot of money in free agency. And so their team-building strategy for decades at this point is to build within the draft. And Alexander was a part of that strategy. And since being taken in the first round of 2018, he's gone on to play some really good football as a shutdown outside corner. And when healthy, he's been one of the top corners in the game. Two-time second-team All-Pro in his career, two-time Pro Bowler the same years that he was named to an All-Pro squad. He has 12 career interceptions, and when healthy, he plays really good ball on the outside as one of the top perimeter, shutdown island cornerbacks in the National Football League. Here is the issue with Jaire Alexander. It's almost like the idea of signing him is better than the reality. He's played only 34 regular season games in the last 4 years. So he has been hurt, and he's been hurt frequently and a lot. And this is pretty crazy. Isaiah Rodgers, who left the Eagles after winning the Super Bowl to sign with the Minnesota Vikings, as we know, he came back in 2024 after missing all of 2023 with that gambling suspension. And even though Isaiah Rodgers did not play at all in 2023, he has still played more games than Jaire Alexander since 2021. And you look at the array of injuries here that Alexander has had to deal with in 2024, knee and a groin, in 2023, shoulder and a back, in 2021, a shoulder issue. Shoulder issues for a corner, they always concern me a little bit. You fall on it the wrong way, you could re-injure it, you have to go up, high point the football, tackling. All of those are reasons why the shoulder injuries are a little bit of a concern for me with Jaire Alexander and really with any football player. And what's crazy, it feels like Alexander has been in the league for so damn long, yet he's still only 28 years old. So is this a run of bad injury luck? Is this who he is? Can he reverse that tide and play a couple of injury-free seasons? At this point, are you who you are? And Alexander, when on the field, has been a very good player. But he's not been on the field enough. And you just looked at the stats there over the last 4 years, and that campaign in which he played 16 games, the only year over the last 4 in which he's been on the field. Now, last year, in 7 games played, he did play pretty well. But you look back at 2022, that was a year that he was an all-pro player. Yeah, it's great. 16 games, 56 tackles, 4 TFLs, 14 pass breakups, a phenomenal digit there with 5 interceptions. But in 2021, 4 games. And then the last 2 years, his seasons have been cut short too. And so the idea of Jaire Alexander, Quinyon Mitchell, and Cooper DeJean, you think about that in your head, and you think about the player who Alexander is at his peak, and you're like, man, that is a really good cornerback trio with Alexander and Quinyon on the outside, Cooper DeJean in the slot. But then you bring in Alexander, and you think about the play that those three are capable of, but you also think about the injuries that have consistently happened to him, which has curtailed his NFL career to a certain degree. And that's a big reason why the Green Bay Packers wanted to move on. They're paying him, or at least were, as one of the top 10 cornerbacks in the National Football League. But your best ability is availability, and Jaire Alexander has not been available to the Green Bay Packers. And so it doesn't make sense for them, after giving him all that guaranteed money, after that guaranteed money is run out, to continue to pay him as a top 10 corner when he's rarely on the field. So if the Eagles did go this route, I know a lot of fans would be excited, but for me, that would spell a concern. Because if the Eagles sign Jaire Alexander, that tells me that they don't think Kelee Ringo can play, and I think that would be disappointing. They moved up to take him in the draft a couple of years ago. What they've said is that he's one of the players on this roster who they're excited to get an extended look at because they are believers, in his abilities. But if they don't think that Kelee Ringo can play, then you go the route of Jaire Alexander. But I think the Eagles really like Kelee Ringo, and they want to continue this youth movement at an affordable clip and have him compete with Adoree Jackson to duke it out to see who can be the outside corner opposite of Quinyon Mitchell for this Eagles team in 2025. We'll talk about that coming up here in just a moment, but I do want to tee up this question, and it is the poll question for today's Philadelphia Eagles. Now, should the Eagles sign Jaire Alexander? Share your thoughts with me. Type S for sign or P for pass down in the comment section. Let me know what you're thinking on that front. Now, as I mentioned over the weekend, I was in a wedding, and on Saturday we had a pool day. Got to get some good sunshine, as you can probably see. And you know what I was rocking? Chubby's gear. I wore this shirt by the pool, thanks to our friends at Chubby's, and I wore some Chubby's swim trunks. Summer is basically here, man. Sky's out, thighs out, and Chubby's has a great deal that we want to tell you about, and you can see their products for yourself at chubbyshorts.com/chat. Summer's here, which means it's officially time to let the dogs out. And by dogs, we mean your legs. If your pups have been stuck in jeans or sweats for the last few months, set them free with the Line Swim Collection from Chubby's. Life's too short for uncomfortable swim trunks, so these babies are set up for all-day comfort with a quick, dry stretch fabric and a built-in liner that actually does its job. No more chafing, no more soggy butt, no more mesh disasters. And Chubby's biggest sale of the year, it's on and popping, which means $45 bottoms, both shorts and swim trunks, and up to 60% off select gear. It's the perfect time to donate your decade-old shorts and refresh your drawer. Give your legs the summer that they deserve, and you know the motto, look good, feel good in the process. Now, of note, and as you can see with the note on your screen, this Chubby's Eagles shirt isn't applied to the percentage off. It's an NFL collection item. But if you do go to chubbyshorts.com/chat, you can still find this shirt there. But the deals that we're telling you about are for the deals that we just mentioned. So that's $45 bottoms, both shorts and swim trunks, and then 65% off select gear. This NFL collection item, a brand new item. So don't wait for a limited time. Shop Chubby's biggest sale of the year. Again, $45 shorts, up to 65% off select gear. Hit up chubbyshorts.com/chat and grab your favorites before they're gone. Miss the sale? Don't sweat it. Use our exclusive code CHAT for 20% off. Support the show. Let them know that Chase Senior, Eagles Now, and Chat Sports sent you when the survey asks. And get ready to turn some heads because summer's here. Dress like it in Chubby's. All right, so moving forward here on the show, you think about the Eagles' cornerback position going into 2025. Isaiah Rodgers with the Minnesota Vikings. Darius Slay with the Pittsburgh Steelers. This defense has had a lot of turnover coming off a year in which the Eagles won the Super Bowl. And the cornerback position is one of the top position battles that we saw take place at OTAs, mandatory minicamp coming up. We'll keep an eye on that position then. And then in July into August, training camp and in the preseason. And it seems to be a two-horse battle between Kelee Ringo and Adoree Jackson. Ringo going into year 3. Adoree Jackson was a first-round pick all the way back in 2017 after a legendary career at USC. And Kelee Ringo is going to have to earn that starting job opposite of Quinyon. And Adoree Jackson, he's been a well-respected veteran for a minute at this point in the National Football League. And playing alongside Kelee Ringo so far this offseason, he's impressed. He said, quote, "What stands out most about Kelee is that he's a freak of nature, just his intangibles, being that tall, being able to have speed, his movements, and we know that Kelee Ringo is a fantastic athlete. What's crazy is that right now he's still only 22 years old. Later this month, he'll turn 23. But he's going into year 3, and he's 22. There were multiple players taken in the draft back in April who are older and were older at draft time than Kelee Ringo. Tyler Shuck is going to be like 25 years old soon. Ty Robinson, Vanilla Gorilla, who the Eagles drafted out in Nebraska, is 24 years old. And so Ringo is still a young and ascending player. At Georgia, on those great defensive teams, he showed that he had first-round talent. The size, speed, and physicality component is so enticing. 6'2", 207, and the guy clocked a 4.3 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine coming out of Georgia. And what we've seen, solid play with limited reps. That's both as a cornerback and that's on special teams. But the size, the speed, the physicality, it only gets you so far. And Kelee Ringo knows that. And I think it's important that he said this because he knows that he has to improve his technique. He has to improve his overall play at the cornerback spot because you just can't rely on your athleticism. He said, Adoree Jackson, he's talking about my talent, things like that, but talent only takes you so far. Coming into the league and seeing that talent, of course, can definitely help you get places where you want to go, but taking that next step of focusing on your technique from little things like stretching. I learned the playbook. All different things that can help you get an edge overall besides just your talent. That's the main thing that I've been focusing on right now. And when I was at the Super Bowl, Christian Parker, Eagles DB's coach, had said, yeah, I think Kelee Ringo is one of those players on this team who we're very excited about going into next year. And I like how Kelee had really honed in on his role for 2024. He didn't get a lot of reps at outside corner. The Eagles had better play there. They had the youth movement with Quinyon and Cooper DeJean. Darius Slay, Isaiah Rodgers played very well. So there wasn't a spot for Kelee to get a lot of reps at outside corner. What did he do, though? He didn't complain. He kept working. He kept getting in the lab, grinding, hustling, and he perfected and took advantage of his role on special teams. But as he enters year 3, now is the time to prove why the Eagles moved up to take him, why they've advocated for him being a developmental player on this team. And if he can work out, that's good news for Philadelphia. It means they hit on another draft pick. They can continue to stay young and athletic at that corner spot. And also, he's extremely affordable with where the Eagles got him on day 3, round 4 in the draft back in 2022. If the Eagles, again, do want to go the free agency route, it tells me that they don't think that Kelee Ringo is making the necessary strides. And if they do want to go the free agency route, there are some other good players available outside of Jaire Alexander. You have the likes of Stephon Gilmore, former Defensive Player of the Year, Asante Samuel Jr., the son of Asante Samuel Sr., of course, the former Eagle who underwent a neck surgery this offseason, Mike Hilton, Rasul Douglas, another former Eagle, and you know the Eagles aren't going to go the route of James Bradbury, but he's out there as well. If the Eagles want to pull off a trade, Jalen Ramsey's name has been floated out there. He's not attending Miami Dolphins offseason activities. I don't think the Eagles go this route either because Jalen Ramsey, Vic Fangio didn't really get along, weren't really on the same page when Fangio was the defensive coordinator for Miami before coming to Philadelphia, and Ramsey doesn't seem like the type of Vic Fangio corner. So I think the Eagles are good where they're at, but I want you to pick a starter here. Who starts week 1, Thursday, September 4th, against the Dallas Cowboys as the Eagles open up the 2025 campaign and raise that Super Bowl banner? Will it be Ringo? Will it be Jackson? Will it be Alexander? Share your thoughts with me.